we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
So what I'm going to tell you is this. I'm in a better mood this week, guys. Much better mood because my friend Alec Henkelman is joining us, and I haven't seen him in a while. So thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me back.
It's good to see you again, man. I know you've been busy as hell.
Cheers. Did we all just crack one?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Fresh
Cheers.
beers up top,
That's
baby.
right.
Keep
Cheers,
it frothy.
cheers,
Keep it
Training
chilly.
fluid.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. That's right. We are still drinking those around here, and it is what it is. But, man, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again, man.
Yeah. Like I just said, lots happened since last time we saw each other.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. The whole world, personal life. So.
Yeah, because that was, you were on, I want to say, was that 2020?
I
Was
think
it really
it was
that long
2020.
ago?
I think it was end of
Late 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Like maybe almost even beginning of 21. But it was definitely
Maybe not
like.
that late. I don't know.
It was when shit was just, everyone was freaking out about everything.
Yeah.
Everyone was panicked.
Oh, it
scared
was
to
trouble
death.
back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot's changed.
people are still afraid of everything, I feel like. But like I was talking about last week in my rant, I think a lot of people just kind of moved on. They're like, I'm tired of this shit. It's time to get back to it. I think we have, generally speaking. But you still have people out there that are going to choose to do that, and that's fine. They can do that.
Well, it's just funny because, like, honestly, the fear-mongering has just, it keeps transferring.
It just changes.
Yeah,
They try different narratives with it.
What
Yeah.
is it right now? Oh, yeah. I was reading that they're, like, trying to bring the fear of West Nile virus back.
Well, I mean, West Nile's always existed.
Doesn't, like, 06.
Well, it's everything, and they're just changing subjects. It's viruses to climate change to white supremacy to Donald Trump. Whatever is gonna sell fear and get clicks and
get people
watches
riled up.
and get people riled up, and
That's what
Yeah.
they're going to do for sure.
I haven't had cable for like 5 or 6 years, and I don't really regret it.
Oh, man, I'll tell
So,
you.
what do you watch?
You know,
Like YouTube or?
yeah, honestly, not even YouTube. Well, YouTube is like to me, YouTube's like Elon says. I'm a big fan of him. Like YouTube University, you can learn anything there.
Mm-hmm.
So I use that as a tool. Of course, you can go down the rabbit hole, and you're watching all kinds of crazy shit. But YouTube's mostly a tool for me. I like to learn when I watch YouTube. I watch a lot of stuff like that. And I follow like all those independent journalists and stuff. Get information from those guys.
Yep.
If you follow the right guy, they'll do enough to get you the right information. And other than that, then I'll just watch Seinfeld on Netflix and fuck off and zone out.
I feel better doing that, honestly. I've been watching some old sitcoms myself, like King of Queens.
Yeah.
Everyone Loves Raymond, going back, because I used to be that guy about
It's a good one.
10
Everyone Loves Raymond.
Isn't it
That's a
great?
good one, yeah.
It's relatable, it's funny.
Except for Raymond is a beta. Wait, no, the King of Queens, he's actually being a beta.
Well, they're both kind of betas, but I mean,
They kind of make in the sitcoms. They kind of
All the
make
guys
all
are
the
betas.
guys are. I mean, look at Friends, dude. Right? One of my favorite. I love all these shows.
Yeah.
And like I watch them just for comfort and nostalgia
Exactly.
and whatever. But it's like
Come on, man.
they're all chumps, dude.
You're like, come on.
they're all beta males, beta bottoming over their women.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all do whatever you want, this, that, and that's where a lot of men have been indoctrinized and propagandized to pedestalize women, over pursue all that stuff.
But it's silly though because like it's normalized in song and show.
Sure.
But then if you do it in reality, then it's not received well. By whatever you're trying to pursue.
It's funny how that works.
It is.
It just kind of shows you we at times can live in a false reality. But going back to the point of giving up cable news and stuff like that, man, that was one of the best decisions I ever made. Because
Yeah.
I was a huge like Fox News guy back in 2012, like right around the time that Obama got reelected. I was just eating that shit up, and I was just in a bad mood all the time. I mean, I still am at times, but once I gave that up and gave up the mainstream shit, like I still get my news where I need to get it, but I'm not in a shitty mood listening to this nonsense.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't matter who you watch. It's all nonsense. There's some people that are good. Like I did like Tucker Carlson.
He's about to make a fortune.
Yeah. I even like Anderson Cooper at times and stuff. Like every outlet's got their own
Good journalists.
dude. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny when I think back to me in the Army, like how naive I was at times. I had whatever the cable was, and I would just like go to news, MSNBC, ABC, Fox, CNN, and I would just kind of watch all of them. I wasn't really like biased to any of them. I think I was too young and too dumb to understand like kind of really where I sat. I've always been like libertarian and kind of liberal, and it's like this funny joke where it's like I'm liberal until my straw starts disintegrating in my coffee, and I'm like, fucking, or I got to pay 10 cents for a fucking bag, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't really care about that shit.
I hear you there, man. I mean, I think I've always kind of, we've always said we don't do politics on the show, but I don't really care anymore.
Let's get into it.
So, I mean, I've been a libertarian, like, registered for a long time. Long time. A lot of people are like, I thought you were Republican, all this. I think the Republicans are idiots too, but I think they're all idiots, to be honest with you, Alec. But the idea of libertarianism, a lot of people get upset with me about too, because like, well, that's extreme in itself. It's like we have to have some government involvement. It's like I do believe in less government, more freedom. That's ultimately where my political beliefs align, right?
Yeah. I was just talking to a buddy last night, like, if you minimize the government and you had communities work together, I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to promote discussion combustion. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, people with money, like Elon, for example, I'll go back to him. That dude, he like built a whole neighborhood for like his employees and stuff. That dude would build all this shit for free. So when you have people like that, they do that. You don't need daddy government to hold your hand all the time. And yeah, I don't know.
So maybe one of the bigger issues in society is the fact that people who are wealthier don't help distribute the wealth. I mean, maybe it's selfishness. Like,
Selflessness or selfishness?
Selfishness.
Well, I mean, you can't expect everybody that has money to do that, though. I don't think that's a realistic expectation.
Well, I mean, where you can.
Well, sure, help.
Right? Like, do you need all that stuff?
So, I mean...
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a certain level where, like, you can live comfortably and everything else is extra.
And I understand.
But you have to... So that kind of...
give back where you can.
I think that goes back to what I'm saying, like, those billionaires, they probably help their community. We just may not be a part of it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And when you think of someone like Elon Musk and Bezos, you think they got $100 billion in cash? That's not how that works. It's assets, it's companies, and they end up being the controlling person who controls those assets and companies, so they can help within those lines, right? And that's how I understand it. So
yeah, that makes the most sense.
That does make sense.
If they were to liquidate everything, then they could potentially.
Then they can have all that cash potentially
because it's their worth.
Net worth.
It's not what's in the account that's liquid right now.
Net worth includes all your assets, cash on hand, and everything in between. So.
And a lot of these guys aren't liquid. They are invested heavily, and you see a lot of guys. You look at Donald Trump back in the early '90s. I mean, he lost the plaza and went through all this stuff, was dealing with all that, but he still had a lot of money on hand and was able to recover from it. But a lot of folks just say, oh, well, he's worth $4 billion. They just see that, but they don't see a lot of the underlying factors. And of course, you mentioned Elon. I think, what is he worth, like $168 billion now?
I don't even know.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there's no way that's what his bank account reads.
Well, I mean, he sold his stocks to buy Twitter, right? Like, you got to liquidate some of the assets to get the cash, and you can do it and make it happen. And it's funny because I used to be, because you were saying like, kind of, why can't we redistribute wealth in some way? I used to think, when people would say, I can't think of the word, universal health care. I'm like, there's no way we can pay for that, blah, blah. But it's like, when I see all the money we waste and give to Ukraine and pensions over there, and there was like $10 million gender studies in Pakistan like 5 years ago. Retarded stuff. The government doesn't spend money well. They never have. Their solution is always more money, but it doesn't stop the retarded spending. If we could stop that, we probably could pay for people's fucking medical bills, probably school, and others, probably build homes for homeless people.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately it comes back to we need to be focusing, like, even these radical spending. Like, if we were doing it on our soil and worried about this country, right, and defending this nation, and look, we've heard for a long time America likes to stick their nose in everybody else's business and putting all this nonsense overseas.
Well, we've been in that position since the end of World War II. Like, and if we back down from it, then we'll lose it. It's the whole vacuum.
I don't think it's about backing down from it. I think it's like, why are we still giving money to countries that burn our flag? You know what I mean? Like, why?
It's proxy war type stuff. It's supporting disabilities or disturbances in other countries in order to have regional control. I mean, there's so many. It's geopolitics.
There's not one answer.
Yeah, there's so many reasons.
There's like so many levels of corruption within our own government, other governments.
Agreed.
I mean, it'd be like if you were in France and I'm over here, and it's like, oh yeah, we did discussion combustion back in the day. I'd be like, oh well, I'm the president. We can get Kevin hooked up. Like that's how it is. It's just like friends helping friends, and
That's good.
and doing kind of criminal shit with it. And there's just I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm just a fucking retard anyway.
So am I. I'm a complete dumbass that likes to drink tranny fluid and hang out with my buddies and talk nonsense. But I at the same time, it's like we try to care about what's going on in our communities. Of course, we can only control what we can control, right? And that comes down to like we can cast our vote, we can bitch, moan, and complain, we can do all these things. But it really does come back to I think just the impact like social media has had, and the like we talked about with the mainstream news, and just the polar division that we see now. I mean, we're seeing even with the gun stuff, which we're going to get into, of course. I mean, we're seeing what's going on. I mean, it's just the amount of since we've last talked, and we even brought this up the last time you were on, the amount of uneducated individuals out there just spouting off nonsense about guns, right, is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
You scroll Twitter, it's like, well, it's the guns. We got to ban them now. But it's okay to have your shotguns.
We've had those guns since the 1920s, man. They've had full auto 45 ACP and full auto 30-06 guns, and it's just like, where were the school shootings then? So I don't have my numbers in front of me. I did a radio show once. It was like 5 minutes, and I don't remember the guy's name, but I had the stats in front of me. From 1906 to like 1970s, there was 6 school shootings, and then in the 80s, it goes up 8 to 10 or something like that. Then Columbine happens. I think that was like 1998. But if you look from 1980s to Columbine, the amount of Prozac that was sold was like 3 million or something. Then from 2000 to 2010, that number 10 times. So that's like 30 million people are now on Prozac. And the school shootings from Columbine to like 2010 went way up. And no one talks about the drugs.
One also social media too, the existence of internet, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's to blame.
All that has to play into it a little bit.
I don't know. I think I disagree with that because that's kind of like saying, oh, you murdered someone and you played violent video games. That must have an effect. I don't know, man. I mean,
well, no, just social media specifically, not like video games, but like this whole, you have friends because it's been proven that the internet and social media can create depression because you have these false friendships.
Well, and you
never actually
you compare yourself.
Yeah, and
I'm looking at Arthur's awesome life on your Instagram pictures.
Yeah, you think.
While I'm sitting here crying, drinking a half a bottle of tequila a night.
Yeah, like, fuck it, I'll go shoot up.
But see, I don't think that's necessarily going to translate to wanting to go kill people. I think what it is more is when we glorify these shootings, not like with social media, with mainstream media, they put the guy's face up front and center. This guy did it. He did it with this weapon. We're trying to figure out why, and then that's all they talk about.
There's 100% of notoriety thing that goes with that. The Parkland kid, his videos he made before that. I'm going to be the next school shooter, and my goal is blah blah. It's like he wanted that level of fame. He didn't really care how negative it was, and some people are just like that.
So it's like it's a copycat thing. It's a drug and depression thing, and it's probably a social media thing as well.
Yeah,
like because social media, like we haven't been on this heavily for 20 years yet. I mean, really, is that much time? No. Yeah. So like, what are the long-term effects of all this?
I think the biggest thing with social media is people are too comfortable saying whatever the fuck they want without repercussions, right? We were talking earlier, you're like, well, can words be violent? No, words aren't violent. Words aren't ever really going to hurt me.
Awesome shirt, by the way, which evoked that.
Oh, there it is. We got it in the shot.
Yeah, give violence a chance, everybody.
Sometimes it's the right answer.
And so my question to Alec was, what is the least form, the most least form of violence?
And because you were asking about words, I was like, I don't think words can be violent.
Yeah, I was like,
I
is
said
it words?
Probably spitting on somebody.
Yeah.
That being said, there is such thing, even in the court of law, it can be upheld. There is such thing as fighting words, right? You're not going to come to my house and call my wife a cunt because that's,
those are fighting. Because
I'm not going to allow you to do that. Yeah. And when men hang out with each other, there's always a chance for violence, right? We always know that there's a chance that it can get violent when two men or multiple men hang out. And it's because that's just in our nature, right?
That's how we are, yeah.
You guys start bullying me, really pushing my buttons, I might laugh and joke and blah, blah, and you really start cutting deep. Okay, that's enough. Eventually, it's going to be like, okay, man, you know, you say something else, I might put my hands on you. And then it gets to that point, right?
We all been there.
We've all been there. And when you have men, there's always that chance. So, and yeah. And I think to go back, social media has gotten people too comfortable with just saying whatever the fuck they want. Keyboard warriors with zero consequences.
Yeah, no repercussions.
No repercussions.
For talking all this big dog shit.
It's like the same thing you see in the gaming world too, right? Like you add that to like, everyone on their headsets playing Call of Duty or something, talking shit. Well, why don't you come down here to Austin, Texas, wherever the fuck you're playing from, and we'll settle this. It's like, dude, we're playing a video game. You know, that same stuff just adds that false layer.
Well, it's like with what you said. I'm not the only guy. I'm not the only dude that's played Call of Duty and heard the N-word. Okay, it gets thrown out all the time on there.
Of course.
When we walk around in normal life, nobody talks like that.
Yeah, no one's
because
doing
you
that.
know you're gonna get slapped in the fucking mouth if you do.
You know it's disrespectful.
You know,
like a keyboard warrior.
And the truth is, like today, the guy doesn't even have to be black to hit you for it.
Yeah,
they can just be anybody, and they can just be that offended and you know and smack you over saying something. But you know, it is what it is.
I mean, I think like whatever happened to the whole sticks and stones will break my bones, but names can never hurt me.
I thought it was words will never hurt me.
Names, words.
Whatever.
Either way.
We forgot that saying for
because
sure.
I mean, I was brought up. I remember
forgot that.
as a kid.
Why does humanity forget that shit?
Why? 5, 6, 7 years old, I'd be like, Mom, you know, someone's picking on me at school. Well, remember, son, you know, sticks and stones and break your bones, but names will never hurt me is what I remember it being. Maybe it is words.
It's words.
It is words. Because it was like name calling, like, oh, you're an idiot, you're 4 eyes, whatever. So what?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's good. I think, you know, I defended bullying a little bit back in high school because I think it's unnecessary to pick on the kid that's just trying to go to class and, you know, maybe he doesn't deserve a swirly. But I think at the same time, you know, we got toughened up in our era by dealing with that and giving each other shit.
You got to look, too, like, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet Bezos and Bill Gates are probably fucking bullied the shit. But you know what? I bet that they're thankful for that.
It struck a chord. It struck a chord.
Same with Elon, for that matter.
Yeah.
He was kind of an awkward guy, still is.
Struck a chord.
Yeah, so and dude, everybody has adversity. It's just different adversity, right? And I always think, you know, that's the individual's responsibility to deal with that adversity. If you're gay in a Christian Catholic family and your family disowns you when you come out, man, that sucks, dude. But the truth is it's not the world's fault. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. That's your responsibility to be an adult and find a way to live a happy life with that, right? That's a good point. I mean, at least that's my view on it, you know? So I don't expect anyone to feel bad for me on all the shit that I've gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and to reiterate on that and just make like another analogy, and this isn't mine, but I have heard this, and it's like sure, this happened to you, and you want somebody else to be responsible. You want somebody else to take the blame for the pain that you felt, like maybe it was some sort of abuse or like something happened, and it happened to you. But it's your responsibility to figure out what you're going to do with that and how you're going to keep moving forward. You can't just put the blame. Sure, you can and you want to blame whoever it is, whoever did that to you, but it's your responsibility to move forward and figure out who you're going to be moving forward. So it's like these circumstances in life that are thrown at us, but that's life, and it's up to us to determine how we are going to remain centered.
Will Smith had this thing. I've never forgot it. It was awesome. The difference between fault and responsibility.
That's what I was referencing.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and so I get it, right?
Yes.
It's not your fault
Yes.
that happened to you, but that's your responsibility to deal with that and fix that, right?
Yeah.
Like if one of my guys at work fucks up or something, yeah, that's not my fault, but I've got the responsibility to either pay for that part that they broke or et cetera, whatever the problem is. So yeah,
You got to own it.
100%.
You got to own it.
That's the exact speech I was thinking about.
Okay, that's awesome. That's yeah, dude. And I heard him say that, and I was like, it was so amazing.
It stuck with me.
I mean, it goes a long way. I mean, look, it's amazing that we're even still thinking about, like, why is it so easy for someone to blame whatever fuck up they had or whatever situation took place? Well, it's because of this. Or you made me so mad that I did that. Like, for example, last week I threw a microphone stand and it put a hole in the wall in that spare room over there, which I talked about on the show last week. because I gave violence a chance. And
Sometimes you gotta let it go.
Of course. I'm making light of the situation for our of course, seasoned viewers. People know I have anger problems. I lose it sometimes. But that was my, I can blame that on this. I can blame it on that. That's me. That was my doing. I did that. Well, you pushed me to the point of it. Sure, I could argue that point, but that was me. I could have handled it differently. It's the way it goes. And I just think that we're so conditioned now, I say we, just as a society, to instantly point the blame on someone else. Well, you did this. You were harassing me, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, accountability. Like, I'll make it quick because I always want to give you space to talk. Accountability and responsibility. Do you own that? Do you own your accountability and responsibility? All right, I had to talk to the people there,
dude,
Alec.
and that's why the big controversial guy Andrew Tate, man, I fucking love him, dude. And everything he says is actually really good. People that don't like him don't listen to him. That's simple. And I'm gonna stick to that.
I'm gonna agree that he does have some great motivational stuff, but the whole sex trafficking thing, I mean. Why he got locked up.
Where there's not a shred of evidence. Look, I'm not going to talk on it. I'm going to say this. I asked my friend, okay, very, very smart guy, Green Beret, college educated, whatever, very, very smart guy, highly respect this guy. He didn't know who Andrew Tate was, and I said, hey, what do you think of Andrew Tate? He said this. He's like, I don't know who he is. I don't watch his videos, but I know this. He's an American citizen being held in a Romanian prison on sex trafficking charges with no evidence of sex trafficking, and honestly the evidence of the opposite of sex trafficking, of being colluded against by two women who didn't like him, and he's being held with literally no evidence, and when the embassy finally stepped in, he was able to be out on house arrest or whatever. So I heard that from all these people, like the hater group or whatever you want to call them. They're like, oh, he's a sex trafficker. I'm like, okay, Vice dropped the story because they had fucking nothing. Wouldn't a journalist have come forward and be like, okay, this is what happened. He had women coming from Moldova and blah, blah, and they're coming to his house and blah. And it's like, yeah, he may not be beating them in a dungeon, but there's zero story for it. The only thing I hear is two words, and it's sex trafficking. So that's my point. And it's like, I'm not saying the guy's innocent. I'm just saying innocent until where's the evidence? Innocent until proven guilty.
So I'll say it like this: even if he did do some piece of shit things in the bedroom that made women uncomfortable, even if he did that stuff, he has still given males across the country this, and it might not just be males, maybe females too. Like, there's something about being blunt and frank that I can respect, even if I don't agree with somebody. If somebody tells me their opinion straight up, even if I don't agree with it, and they just let me know, like, I'm still going to respect you for how you approach me. And so that's kind of my opinion on Tate. Like, and he's gotten all this controversy around him, which that sells. Like, that's probably why I watched, was all the drama. I'm like, wait, what's going on with all this?
I think he plays. I think he embellishes. I think he's exaggerative of a character that was selling, right? Because he didn't have a product. He is the product, right? And he has like his things, Hustlers University or whatever those are. You pay $50 and learn from him. And I never did any of that, but it's like, I don't know how much money he actually makes from that. I knew he was like trying to start a bank and he owned casinos, so that's how he made all of his money. But I mean, he was the product, and he was getting all the clicks, and that was getting him.
Well, and he was still doing his workouts. He was still fighting. He was staying in shape, challenging himself. Even though I might not agree with everything he did with his opportunities, I can agree with the foundation of being centered and sticking to that mission regardless of what anybody else thinks. It's kind of a double-edged sword, you know what I'm saying, the whole subject, because I can see a lot of the value, and then I see a lot of the other stuff. Like, I've seen some documentaries, and I'm not going to open that box right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we said, I mean, we people are talking about noise. There is noise happening around it. And there's no way to prove what we're hearing. But what is happening is, I mean, I've listened to a lot of podcasts this week, including Rogan going back a week ago. Now our show, there's noise happening. So it's working. If that's ultimately the mission, people are talking about it, and I just think it's another topic where people are going to have their positions, and there's more going on. But the fact remains, without the evidence, I mean, it's hard to say definitively what's going on. I mean, I think we're at a point now where we read headlines and we hear things, and we, like you said, sex trafficking. It could be.
Well, and I just stick with what I know, man. And I have no knowing evidence that he's actually committed a crime. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying there's zero evidence of that. Sure. And it's like, it's kind of the people in his circle that he's surrounded with, it's kind of like, they're like, why would this guy do this when he's this successful? Why would he really risk everything when he's making money from casinos and banks or however he's actually making his money and the businesses he set up to what? To pimp a couple girls out? I mean, it just doesn't seem worth it. It seems kind of retarded.
You know, I mean, the only way that I could see that happening is it's like that, like you get bored.
That's fair. I mean, that's a good point. I'm not, and it's not unheard of.
And we're just, this is all speculative. Like, I'm not saying anything definitively on any of that. But, like, you can always justify how somebody can end up in a place, right? Especially if you've been through some shit yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I used to be a fucking asshole, idiot, moron, IDM. You know? And so it's like, it's interesting. So I feel like that it's a powder keg of a conversation, and my whole thing about it is with people getting like if you are, okay, you could be proactive or you can be reactive in life. I'm just gonna try to make it simple.
I agree with that.
If you're reacting to this whole scenario and allowing that to upset your day and change the flow of your day, you're obviously reacting. Or you can be proactive about whatever's going on in your life, hear the news, but, you know, keep doing your thing. You know, there's two buckets there.
Yeah.
So it's like I take the latter more often than not. You know, but we'll all react from time to time.
Everyone seems to be so dismissive of people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They say one thing, one sentence, and they're just like, fuck that guy. I'm never, you know.
Write him off.
Well, yeah, right. Like, totally write him off. So I think Andrew Tate says some things that might be triggering for people. Okay, whatever, fine. You can write him off, right? You know, if you're not going to, I'm not going to make you listen. But it's like, it makes me think of like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was like, screw your freedom. And I'm like, you know, I'm not going to lie. That hurt my feelings.
Of course.
You want me to write that guy off?
Absolutely not.
Are you kidding me, dude? The influence that guy's had on my life as far as the gym, eating good, being successful, being an entrepreneur, it's like I read his book. I don't read books, but I read his book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think he feels bad. And again, like that goes back to the COVID shit. We were all lied to, right? No one was really told the truth. And I think a lot of people were scared and thought that the federal government had our best interests at heart and listened to them and blah, blah, vaccine, whatever. And they pushed that out. So I'm empathetic to that. And it's like, yeah, like I said, I didn't like what he said, but at the same time, I don't fucking hate the guy. I still got his, you know, pictures and stuff.
Wait, when did Arnold say "screw your freedom"? I don't even know that.
It was during the vaccine push,
Okay.
and when people like myself were not getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing was weird from the beginning.
It was,
and
Still proudly unvaxxed.
yeah, dude,
Full send, brother.
Yeah.
America.
And but yeah, like people weren't wanting to do it, and then they're like, "Oh, my freedom this, my freedom that," and he's like, "Screw your freedom."
Gene Simmons said the same thing. Like all these celebrities started coming out saying this shit, and that could be conspiracy within itself. I mean, look, I love Arnold. Like people know, Terminator 2 is my favorite movie of all time.
He's the man.
Fucking love Arnold. You know, but yeah, to your point, you know, I guess it shouldn't take away from, because like, you know, to bring up another example with Arnold specifically, Bill Burr has a great joke on this, right? When he got caught fucking the maid or whatever.
Yeah.
And people are like, he's a piece of shit, he's nothing, he's garbage. It's like, what, Terminator 2 is not a good movie anymore?
Dude, when Robert De Niro came out at something and said, fuck Donald Trump, people were like, fuck Robert De Niro. That's what I thought. I'm like, that makes Goodfellas bad? You know what I mean? That Goodfellas is a bad movie all of a sudden? Get the fuck out of here, man.
So, yeah.
Like, and if I don't have to agree with him saying F Trump, or I can, or whatever, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to watch.
Can I just take this on? Can I go here with this?
Go, send it.
It's like somebody comes out and celebrates a year of whatever that changing their gender, and then our sponsor Bud Light, all of a sudden people stop dropping this delicious drink just because of that. Does that fall underneath the same lines?
I think that goes back to your point of being proactive versus reactive, because I got a lot of friends that are like, I can't believe you're still drinking this and that and the other. And once again, I will reiterate the point that I've drank this can with like teams that are on it that I don't agree with. They've had Pride Month, rainbow cans, and I support everybody for the record, within reason. I've gone on record to say it, and I'll reiterate, it was the biggest mistake that Anheuser-Busch ever made in their marketing department. I'm glad that their VP of marketing walked away and that they are restructuring. Walked away. So there's things happening within the organization because they're fucked. At the end of the day, they lost $8 billion.
So I didn't mean to bring that up to shift the conversation there, but
but you're making a good point.
It's funny because it bleeds into so many different areas. Like, how can we hold one thing to a standard but not, apply it to another?
And so,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to be a hypocrite here,
okay,
and say that I kind of joined the boycott of Bud Light.
A lot of my buddies did.
This was free. I didn't pay for it.
Oh yeah.
But do you enjoy the taste?
It's a no. Coors is better,
most
for
people,
sure.
I mean, look, I didn't drink Bud Light until I really started hanging out with this guy over here.
Since honestly, since I was in the Army, I think like the best light beer for me was Coors, and the truth is I didn't even drink beer until I really became like a man. I always drank like Jack Daniels. I didn't when I was in the Army. I was kind of the oddball out because I just didn't I don't fucking want beer because one, it takes me too much to drink. I got to drink 15 of them, and it's like, oh, it's too much. I just didn't join the boys with the beer. And like all my friends, they'll probably remember that, but it's like
join the boys with the beer.
I didn't, dude. I'm like, I had the whiskey.
It sounds like one of those things. It's like, damn it. I did a lot of things, but I never joined the boys with the beer.
I think I turned 29 and I actually started drinking beer a little bit more. And then at that point, I was in Colorado, so I was sticking with Coors. But even I'm thinking back, I remember drinking like Natty Ice in high school. Just shit water
Natty,
with a little alcohol. Yeah,
the rock gut shit.
Whatever I could buy for the cheapest at a liquor store that would sell it.
Yeah, we were all there at one point, and. I started as a Bud guy, going back, how long have I been drinking beer now? Since I was like 18. Budweiser was like the first beer. I was a Budweiser guy for a long time, including when we started the show. You go back and watch the old episodes, it was always the red cans, and I was like, I got to watch my calorie intake, so I went to the lights, and all this bullshit happened, and it was like, man, the amount of conversations that I've had with people about it, and like, you still drinking that, and you're supporting this stuff, calling you out, Jeff Davis, my co-host from Mash the Gas. He's still not drinking, and he still calls me a pussy every week. I love you, brother, and I love doing Mash the Gas with you. And I understand your position. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with what Anheuser-Busch did. I will say it again, but I love the taste of Bud Light. So I'm conflicted.
I don't think you should stop if you like it.
Yeah, I'm not conflicted. I love the taste.
That's why you keep watching Terminator 2, even though Arnold said something that you didn't like.
I don't know. I just thought
that's a good way to put it.
That's the whole point.
I think with the state of the LGBTQ
LMNOP
community, it's gotten a little weird, man. I think everyone in this room and like people in our generation, no one fucking cares anymore, dude. We really like, do you? Exactly. Do you, dude? Whatever.
In this room, but there are people who are part of that community that get like death threats. Like, just move out of that part of the country. Move to an area that is more accepting. I hate to say that, but like, people get displaced all the time because of wars. There's migrations all the time of humanity. Just move somewhere that's safer. If you can't, then find a fucking way.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
That's essentially how this country was designed, right? You want to move to a state that you align with. And obviously Colorado is pretty accepting of
and that's why we have
community.
states' rights. That's like the biggest point of it, is to have different cultures. You go to Kentucky, you're going to meet a different guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just different conversations.
Pull a random guy out of Kentucky and a random dude out of New York and put them in a room and see if they become friends. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude.
No, but that's the thing, is I bet you they do become friends if you put them in a room together. But if you put them on an internet chat room, they're not going to be friends.
Yeah,
shots fired. Yeah,
it's even just with it's the same with like war, man. Right? You put me in a room with people, the two opposite sides of war. They're just doing their job. They don't, and that's kind of falls into that, like, where they're just, people take a stand, they take a side, it's like they fight for that team and they gotta back that up no matter what, and then it just becomes fucking stupid.
That's kind of like sports fans a little bit too, when you think about it, right? Like, you root for your team no matter what.
There's two teams.
Yeah.
It's red and blue.
Yep.
Blue no matter who, and whatever the red saying is. I don't know if they have one, but
red, you're better dead.
We'll go red till we're dead.
I don't know. I don't know.
But either way,
Right is right. I don't know, dude. I'm not Republican.
no, and that's what's funny.
We were talking Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah,
I didn't
red and blue.
I didn't even. No, I didn't. I was thinking Bloods and Crips. Honestly, I had no idea where we were.
Oh, you took it to a different level.
I was not there.
I can assure you're not a part of either of those clubs.
No.
How many times?
And I don't want to be.
How many times have people been like, "Oh, you're a Republican," and just immediately call you're a Trumper, you're a Republican.
dude,
You said you're a libertarian.
So I've been told that I'm very unique in my political beliefs because dude, I am pretty liberal, and for some of my people that are Republicans and right, they think I'm liberal, and then for anyone that's liberal, they think I'm hella conservative. So I'm just a mix, man. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in, I'm like super pro-abortion. I don't give a fuck. You know
pro women's rights.
Yeah, I just don't care.
I think we're unanimous. In
Yeah,
this room
I
on
support
that.
women's rights.
Yes,
Yeah,
we support that pro-choice.
Chappelle has some good bits on abortion.
Chappelle is so good.
He's like,
Chappelle is a legend.
If you can kill it, I should have the right to abandon that little motherfucker. So I don't know, and stuff like that. But then I'm hella pro-gun, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know. I don't even know. I guess I'm libertarian because I favor both, but I tend to kind of really just lean on the side of freedom.
Yeah.
I like to call myself a libertarian constitutionalist because
I like that.
I feel like that piece of paper for the time it was written was really ahead of its time.
Oh,
And it's really underappreciated right now.
So even if it's not fully understood in this conversation, the Constitution, when it was originally written, before all of the amendments, the original Constitution tested at a collective level over 800
On the kinesiology scale?
on the conscious collective scale, which is 0 being shame, 1,000 being enlightenment, and 200 is the crucial level, pride being the strongest negative. So pride is very strong. It can run the Marine Corps. It's still the strongest negative, and courage being the weakest positive.
I didn't realize that ranked in 800. That's extremely powerful.
Yeah, so that's what that book said. That when
I've never heard of those kinds of rankings.
So I read this book on this. It changed my whole thought process on life.
Force?
The Hidden Detriments of Human Behavior. That's correct.
I haven't read it.
It's a great book, but the original and so it's so interesting that you just said that it was way ahead of its time, because it actually described something that was giving toward humanity, was a positive thing, and all the amendments that have been added throughout the centuries have actually decreased the overall collective level of the Constitution. So that's a side note. I know it's a little heavy, but it's interesting, and that's what I got.
Yeah, and that's what upsets me, because you mentioned something with the gun laws, people just being ignorant, passing laws like this woman, Elizabeth Epps, who's I don't know her exact title. Tranny fluid's getting to me. But she was the one that put that assault weapons ban through, right? And I testified against that.
And there was a filibuster for a while.
Yeah. But even then, I think it was 7-6 that it just barely didn't pass. And it's God dang, dude, how are we so divided? And if you really think, you're a cop, you're a soldier, or you're a politician, you take basically the same fucking oath. You raise your hand and you swear to defend the Constitution of the United States against enemies, foreign and domestic. Mm-hmm. And then you have people up there actively trying to repeal the Bill of Rights. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Not just the Second Amendment either. It's the First and the Second, because those are the two strongest ones. When those fall, then they can come in your house. Number 4, they can, and people forget the Third Amendment of soldiers being able, cops just being able to come into your fucking house and say, "Oh no, we're taking over." Wait till that starts to happen once those first two go away. But again, you couldn't take the second one away, even if we all agreed and tried. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen.
That is
far.
ridiculous, though, that you have politicians and people that have a voice within the country that are trying to derail even the original Constitution, not even the amendments on top of it, just what is originally there.
And they try to reinterpret the Second Amendment, and it is quite literally the most simply written and shortest amendment. I'm almost positive it's the shortest amendment. So
the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. I mean, it's and that's where people go, well, when that was written, Kev, you got to remember they were packing muskets with
that whole-
gunpowder.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
look at, I mean, they were also the stuff that they had in design. I mean,
There's
in the
Gatling
1800s
guns and shit.
Yeah, well, that came later in the 1800s and stuff, but they had,
Oh, yeah,
the
1776,
1873 Colt single action, right? And then the Winchester 1894, I believe, is when the lever guns came out. So they're trying to put 7-10 bullets in that magazine tube and shoot as many Indians as they could, and those guys still had bows and arrows and stuff. So, I mean, if you got a book of historical guns, they have a gun with barrels like this, trying to shoot as many bullets. It's always been the case. Technologies hadn't developed yet, but yeah, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, to the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's really fucking simple.
It's more like, instead of a war on guns, it needs to be a war on mental health. And Kev, sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, it's obviously a controversial topic. People get fired up and they go, well, it's the guns. Every time, and there's horrible things happening. And I'm not discrediting that. We understand that there's been school shootings and people have lost their lives from guns. But, at the same time, we've lost a lot from vaccines. We've lost a lot from car accidents. We've lost a lot from alcoholism. We've lost a lot from pharmaceutical. Yep, I was getting
70,000.
there. Yeah, I mean, massive. And I don't understand why that is not also in that conversation, if not over.
It's not the hot button.
So they talk about guns, right? And then you have these people, they always said COVID misinformation. People like me, wear your mask, you're misinformation. Apparently, now I'm fucking right. You know what I'm saying, with all that stuff. But then you have Joe Biden, the president of the United States, saying that guns kill the most kids, or it's the number one killer of kids. I think if you Google it, it's like car accidents, disease, and other shit. And then people from 18 to 45 is now fentanyl at 70,000. Guns are 37,000.
Yeah, basically, don't do coke anymore. Look, it was cool 7 years ago. You could get away with it.
Well, even in that
but nowadays...
Yeah, no, fentanyl.
Well, it was cool when you knew there wasn't fentanyl in it. Now it's like, I don't want to fucking die.
It used to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, back when I was doing coke in my early 20s, it was good. It was great. I didn't like it. I just liked the smell of it back when I was in my early 20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's that. But so also going back, with the suicides are also included in that gun report. They try to make it sound
I think it's 69%.
Yeah.
Out of that 37,000
is suicide.
Yeah.
Or accidental.
That's like 2/3.
Accidental.
So if I'm pretty sure I'm correct. I think it's 69% is suicides.
I would trust
not
your
even
judgment
including
on that, yeah.
accidental. So then there's accidental. When you look, so hands and feet and knives kill more people than the AR-15. I know I'm not the first person to say that. Hammers kill more people than the AR-15, and those are knives, hands and feet, and hammers. 3 different isolated things still kill more than one AR-15. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
It does.
Right. So, and then they demonize the AR-15. The rest of the murders and homicides and crimes, it's handguns.
But let's say that they ban AR-15s. What is it? Are Kalashnikov, the AK?
I mean, that would be all lumped in.
Are you just gonna start what else is it? Are the submachine guns all of a sudden those sales gonna go through the roof? Is it because the caliber? Why?
So first of all, they need to understand that when they put these laws forward, they increase sales, right? So if we pass a law today that says this is banned, that's still not going to take effect until 120 days. And then even then, you need to enforce those laws, which law enforcement and police departments have already said that they're not looking forward to enforcing that stuff. So who's going to stop me from continuing to sell it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah,
but it gets crazy.
I do have a question, since we're kind of on firearms and stuff. I want to bring back something from Discussion Combustion that we haven't done in a while here. And it's a question that is if you had to choose type of question. Okay?
I already don't like this.
So if you could only
if
you could only choose one caliber that you can shoot for the rest of your life, one caliber type of ammo, what caliber are you going to choose?
That's a good question.
I don't know. It's like an impossible question. What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite song? It's an impossible question.
No, but
I guess I mean, dude, I'll give you two. I'll either say the 5.56 or the 308.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't give you one. I'll give you two.
So 5.56 and 308. So that's like AK or.
So no, not AK,
That'd be
but like.
7.62.
Oh yeah,
they're both going to be 7.62 technically, but like the 308's a longer rifle cartridge. The AKs are a little bit shorter.
Okay.
So this is like bolt action gun or AR-10. 7.62 by 51 is what it would be. So
he's going with
which will
those.
take down, deer, elk, all that stuff. Where 5.56 shooting a moose, I don't know how many rounds it would take. It would kill it, but maybe if I get a headshot, I can get one round. I don't know. I've also never successfully hunted an elk or a moose, so.
So this is way out of your element here.
Yeah.
Maybe to coincide with the hunting side. I mean, this man owns an armory shop here. He knows what he's talking about.
On the caliber, yes. I mean, that's why it was a good question. So yeah, Kev,
it's a great question.
How about you?
I mean, I'm kind of with Alec a little bit, like, because my first thought was 5.56, and then I thought 9mm just because I love a 9mm. That's what I'm carrying right now on me. So I think for the sake of everything and just to piss off all the the anti-AR people, I'm going to go 5.56.
Okay, all right.
But 9mm would be second to that.
Yeah, I guess I was start trying to think of what can do the most. So an AR-15 is a versatile firearm. You can hunt with it. Mm-hmm. Again, larger game, like I was saying, moose and elk. There's a reason why it's illegal to go hunt with that gun because you're risking wounding it.
I thought it was legal.
It is in some states, and it's usually for deer.
Okay.
Like in Colorado, you cannot hunt an elk with a 5.56. It has to be, I believe, at least a 270 or larger, and so that's rifle cartridges, right?
For a moose?
So to let you know, it's the power behind the bullet, right? So it's not necessarily the size of the bullet; it's really the power that
how fast
sending out.
it's sending the projectile.
Yeah, and that's why it's funny when, again, going back to the president of the United States and the federal government being one of the biggest propagators of misinformation. Joe Biden doesn't know a fucking thing about guns, and he's out there saying like they travel 5 times faster than any other gun. It's like, dude, regular hunting rifles are far more powerful than any AR-15.
Yeah, like a Remington 7mm or something like that.
Yeah, or a 30-06 or a 308. I mean, that's just it's just so dumb, dude.
This is society,
All our gun people
and we live in it.
Are getting excited, and all our anti-gun people are like, "Love you guys," and we love you for that.
Whatever.
It is what it is. Hey, guess what? That's the First Amendment.
So
Yeah.
I'm going 9mm. Okay,
I had a feeling.
I'm just going 9.
Is that because that's the only gun you've got?
I only own 9mm. Yeah, and I also feel like there's a lot of diversity there. Like if shit really went down, like I'm gonna be able to find the most of that ammo. Right?
That's a good point. On people, maybe like dead bodies, cops,
around and about. So the 9mm that works for me. That works for me. Now we didn't talk about type of bullets, and you could have the hull points, all these different types. So it's an interesting question nonetheless. But my gun guy, and I hadn't said this on the podcast yet, but I bought both my firearms from you, and everybody out there who's interested in purchasing a firearm, you should check out High Country Armory. They kick ass.
Brother.
Alec here is the fucking man. He's
Solid
going
lad.
to take care of you and make sure that you get the firearm that best.
And you trained
fits
with
your
me
needs.
too.
And I did. And
Yeah.
dude, you dialed me in. And I've said this on the pod before too, but I'm always happy to repeat this one. After you dialed me in, out of 32 rounds, I hit like 3 or 4 at 100 yards. Yes, with a handgun, and that was uphill shooting.
Yeah.
And you posted up. I wasn't using like something as like a fixed area, and you posted up and tried on Roxy, which is the name of the Glock, and you didn't hit it either on that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But his training helped me hit it.
You wanted to call him out on that, didn't you?
I had to.
My ego's a little sore.
I had
It's
to.
okay.
No, but the only reason why
I've never hit 100 on a pistol.
is because
It's
you
super
didn't-
possible.
You didn't have.
I forgot my Glock that day.
He forgot
That's
his
right.
his daily carry, and
I was pissed.
I
I was
remember
upset.
how frustrated.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
there was a moment
Because I had a shitload of
Forgot your
9mm.
EDC, huh?
No, I just like I don't know, man. I just forgot the Glock 17. I didn't bring it,
Yeah.
but he had his, and no,
It's like an hour and a half drive, right?
Yeah.
And so we were like 45 minutes in. We're having a good conversation.
He's like,
Energy
"God
was
damn
good.
it."
Yep.
Yeah, and then he got like hella pissed off, and I was like, okay, I can tell he's upset about this right now. I can tell he's a little upset. It's going to be okay, though.
yeah, I was not a happy.
That was a
boy,
fun day.
dude.
Kev, where were you at that day?
I was doing a kickoff for my other job that I don't do talking for. I had to be there, alcohol related. So believe me, I wasn't happy about it, guys. I saw the videos you put up. I wanted to be there, and Art made sure to rub it in, and still obviously is.
I took someone else out training recently, and I had her shoot at 100, and she was already pretty good. She nailed it first shot.
Oh, really?
What was
Yeah.
the firearm?
She had a Shadow Systems, I think.
Wow.
So it's like a knockoff Glock.
First shot, she hit 100 on a handgun?
Yeah.
First shot.
She's good.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, I salute you with my right hand.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I can. I try to shoot at 100 every time I go out. So
I need to get out there, brother.
It's quite a ways. Like when you go set up that target, like
I need to
you
get out
walk
there.
for a minute.
yeah.
I could use
And
some
then
training, man.
It's about 10,000 feet too. So when we walk out there, you're kind of like
You're hoofing it.
huffing and puffing a bit. Yeah, and you're carrying steel. Carrying, I don't know how much it weighs. 25 pounds. something
Yeah.
like that.
It was. I was carrying fun. That's how it felt to
Yeah.
me the whole time.
Fun and freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was fucking awesome.
No, I've gotten. I don't know. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good with the handgun. I really like where I'm at with how I'm shooting. I'm shooting my 226 Legion right now, and that's an excellent firearm to shoot. And yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at. I need to get out and shoot a little bit more, but I've been shooting at the Shoot Indoors over in Denver. Shout out to them. They're always cool. They always let me go bring people to train
Nice.
and stuff. So if you're in Denver,
Where's that at? What area?
they're like 5 blocks from my shop.
Okay.
So come buy a gun from me and drive right over and test it out. So
That's the way to do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like-
we've been shooting the Shootist.
Yeah, the Shootist is awesome.
Shootist is good, too.
We love
Yeah,
that place.
We've done some stuff there.
yeah,
Fucking
James is great.
on the lunch break, I was so excited about the concealed, the Smith & Wesson. I came to pick it up from you on a lunch break. Like, no joke. I told my
remember
whole
that.
team, I was like, look, I'm going to just take a little bit longer of a lunch today. I got some shit I got to do. Errands. And, like, I went and bought the gun and then rolled to the Shootist right afterwards and shot that motherfucker, dude. That was my favorite lunch break probably ever.
It's a great pistol, really
Yeah.
is. I like the glow sights on it. Like I said, it's like the little brother of my M&P 2.0. I love it. Great gun. It's good stuff, man. So yeah, going back to your business, of course. Let's promote that and what's going on, because I haven't seen your new shop yet. I've seen it on social media.
Yep.
You guys moved. You said it's like 3 minutes.
3 minutes from where we currently were, yeah. So we moved from 13th to 8th Avenue, 785 Vallejo Street, Denver 80204. We've got a bigger retail spot. I think we're like 2,200 square feet. We got a whole lot of more room to work, so our efficiency is increasing. I'm feeling good about it. We're trying to... We've got a couple. We're doing Cerakote, like kind of mass production for some
Your
people.
Instagram videos are hot too. Like, people should follow the Instagram, even if you're not planning on buying a
Yeah.
gun. You just want some good gun videos. Some
Yeah,
good shit.
just look at it.
I mean, you were hitting the AK today. I saw like you cocking that back.
I
And shit.
cut my hand on it.
Oh
look
shit!
at
That's
that.
how you can tell if you're a commie or not. Your little cut right there.
Okay.
They reach when you come under and you rack. Like I always cut on that stupid safety. So, yeah, whatever.
It
So-
happens. That's real.
all
Yeah,
for
we
the,
got a-
all,
we got
all
a-
for the gram.
We got a fire sale on that guy.
Really?
Yeah, $750. So that's $125 off right now. So
That's
And
good.
inventory's loaded. You got plenty of ammo on hand. Everything's
oh yeah.
full send, ready to
Yeah,
go.
there's some calibers that I still don't have because that's one thing that we've really had to grow moving to the new place is the ammo. And it's just a business. There's finances and stuff to deal with. So we've put, God dang, man, I don't know, over 20,000 into new inventory. So I'm trying to. It's not for me. It's for the consumers. It's for you guys. That's who I'm here for. So, and especially with the political attacks against us and stuff like that. Come October 1st, everyone's going to have to wait mandatory 3 days to get a firearm now, which sucks. I think that just sucks for you guys more than it does me. Well, it sucks for us too. I'm really unhappy about that.
Yeah, we'll see what it does in the market. I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of it myself. Is it going to deter people and be like, I want it now, fuck it? Is it going to cost you business? I guess would be the question to ask.
A little bit. We won't really know until we get there. So it's gonna severely affect the gun shows on some level. Those guys out of state that come in for the shows, I don't know how they're gonna do it. If you get denied, it might just cost that dude some money because most shops are probably going to have to take some kind of percentage down now. Sometimes people, like, if you have a homie that comes in town or something, you're like, oh, let's go to Alec's gun shop. Let's sell him an AR because you can buy rifles with an out-of-state license, and he's only here for 2 days. Now he's going to be shit out of luck. So I'll lose those. But, I don't know. Maybe it'll increase in the sense of, instead of buying it from the guy at the show who's out of state, maybe they'll come to the local shops and stuff.
Interesting. Yeah.
I also think, always shop local, man. People transfer guns out of state all the time because they find it a little bit cheaper. But once you buy it online, you pay for shipping, and then you pay the transfer fee at the store, maybe you're saving $30. In some cases, I've seen people pay more. So just support your local shop. Go talk to them. They're the guys that know stuff. Even if it's not me, just support your neighborhood gun store, man. Go talk to those guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just really quick, in my neighborhood, there's a lot of mainstream dispensaries. I go to the local one. So 100% always support the local shops. Those are the people that are actually going to care and give you the customer service after you've made that purchase. And I mean, all the experiences I've had with you and your shop, and sure, we've had conversations, like we had that little, friendship, but I feel like you treat everybody like that.
I have to say, I feel like I have probably the best customer service for a gun store, for sure. I don't know, what's the stereotype for a gun store, right? The grumpy guy that looks like me, right? You know what I mean? That's but I'll tell you what, man, the industry can beat you down. It can be frustrating, but me and my guys are young. They're really motivated. They're really smart. They're really good at what they do. We're all good. And, we just treat people with respect, I've worked at shops. I've seen people, make fun of the new shooter, like, oh, what an idiot. And it's like, you were brand new one
learning.
Day, too.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's, you guys know I do MMA, boxing, and all that stuff. It's the same. It's very similar to that. It's like, if I make fun of you coming out to the gym and be like, oh, you look stupid throwing punches, you're probably never going to come back. Yeah. And in an industry where they try to attack our rights and take the types of firearms we can buy, man, we need all the people we can get to come in and buy guns and be Americans and hold that precious right there.
And to speak about that quickly, when I did go shooting with you that day, which was a lot of fun, Kevin should have been there. No, I'm joking.
I should have been.
But you let me shoot for a while and make an ass out of myself.
Basically.
I did. Like
I didn't say anything.
You treated me like a homie, and like you let me. Like I thought I was doing all right. I was like, all right, am I doing all right in front of Alec? Like I know this guy's the man, and I'm like, but is he good? And like I was missing at 10, 15 yards, like trying to get it going, and then you're like, all right, man, like I let you fuck up long enough. I'm gonna show you the ways. But that just speaks to your character. Like you're gonna sit there, take your time, critique it, allow somebody to make the mistakes that they're gonna make, and once you've identified those, you can't help yourself but to be like, if you make these kind of corrections, then you're gonna be better. So look, I bought my first, and then I came back and bought my second, is because the experience was awesome. Like I highly recommend anybody in the Denver area check out our boys' stuff, and that's definitely going to be in the show notes.
I appreciate that, man. And when I take students out, it's right to business.
Oh, of course. No, that's why I said it was.
And
like
that's why, I usually do that with friends. I just want to see where they're at, and, whatever. And so, plus, I wanted you to have fun, right?
Well, and I was just
letting you have some fun.
I was slapping the trigger. Like that was the sentence that stood out the most to me. Like, dude, you're slapping the trigger over here. You're no trigger control. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then you taught me what it was, and that little click on the pop back.
Yeah,
that's crucial.
Trigger reset. Yeah,
it's crucial.
And next time we'll get more in depth to that, because when you're as new as you were, there's like 5 stages to a trigger.
Yes.
So we only went over kind of like 3 of them.
Okay.
So there's a little more in depth. So
interesting.
We'll get back out there.
But it's always good to learn more. I mean, I am not a well-versed guy in firearms. I've done it. I love it. I've been trained with some guys, but man, you can always learn. I think that's the best thing. That's
It's
why
a sport.
That's why I was jealous that I didn't get to go out there and get trained by Alec Henkelman as well, because I'm sure I would have picked up on some great things. I've been stuck in my ways doing the things I do for a while. I was a low left guy for a long time on the pistol, because I didn't have my muzzle management down.
Yeah.
And trigger control for that matter.
That could be a number of things. Some people say low left. Oh, that's this. It's like, well, maybe. That's why I like to. I don't know if you remember, like shooting outside is better than the indoor places for teaching, because I like get on my knees and I'm like this. I'm really looking right
in.
Yeah. So and I really want to see, because it can be your grip, it can be your stance. I had one student, and because I had asked him, I'm like, okay, he said he had a good sight picture, and I drew it out, and he said that's what he saw, and everything looked great, and I'm like, and he's just missing horribly. So we went back. I said, where are you aiming? What do you see? It turns out everything was good. So he was taking my instructions, but I guess miscommunicated. And so his sight picture was totally fucked. So he's just not even aiming correctly. So that's why he was missing. The second we fixed that, he was hitting bullseyes. So there's just can be a number of things.
Minor adjustments.
Yeah.
Minor adjustments.
Yeah, I love teaching people. I love the new people. Nervous people are really fun. They can be very dangerous. Yeah. So
That's why it's fun. It's because it's dangerous.
Yeah. I took this mother and son out, and I was kind of a little hands-on and kind of okay, let's take this, put this down, please. Okay. And she looks at her son, she's like, I think I'm making him nervous. And I was like, yeah, you did.
Yes.
But they were great, and they got it going. So
yeah, I mean, everyone's going to do it at their own pace too, and I think the important thing to remember is you can always learn new things, right? Because I got to have it figured out. I'm stuck in my ways. No way. We're gonna go shooting, and you're gonna teach me some things. I feel like, because I'm not as well trained.
I can't wait for the summer shoot sesh.
Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a DCPC gone shooting for sure, like you guys did last year. But we're gonna do it right this time, where I'm involved as well.
Yeah,
so
Alec had to come in and start saying "Let her rip, tater chip" in your absence.
I remember seeing that on the video, and
did I?
You did.
Someone's got to say it because Kev's not here, and I was like, damn
That's exactly what you said. You're like, yeah.
That was the best way to be like, yeah, fuck you, Kev. You should have been here, bro.
That's funny.
So we asked you this question last time, and we're going to ask you it again. If you could give one piece of advice to humanity so everyone can be better tomorrow, what would that piece of advice be?
I don't know, man. You got me on the spot for that one. Fuck, man. Just have some self-accountability, dude. Look in the fucking mirror. The mirror holds all of your problems, and we all lose sight of that. Every single person on this planet, okay, we all lose sight. You blame other people. We've all done it, right? But just if you really want to fix something in your life, and you're having hardships, marriage, work, whatever, look in the fucking mirror, man, and start with yourself, because if yourself ain't right, nothing else is going to be right. So, and just hold yourself accountable and do the right thing for what's right to you. So that would fix a lot.
It's good advice. It's good advice. Kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. It's always someone else's fault, right? Rather than just taking a look in the mirror, going, man, what am I doing here? What can I do to change this scenario? It's always easier to say, well, it's because of this. I reacted this way because you made me feel that way. It's like, no, you chose to act that way. Yeah. So good advice, Alec. I agree with it.
Yeah. In the moments where I'm the most nervous and maybe a little anxious about something that I'm about to partake in, like an event or something, sometimes even podcasting, it's game time. I'll look in the mirror and I'll stare myself dead ass in the fucking eyes and see and I'll look until I see the fact that until I see that fire, fuck what anybody thinks. The mirror is important.
And just that, dude. Fuck what people think, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For real, man. Because
but let's consider people around us still, but at the same time, let's respect people, but fuck what they think.
That's not what and that's not what I'm saying. If they want to talk shit on my store or talk shit on your podcast, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking great, because there's 10,000 people that fucking listen to it.
Exactly.
And if fucking 5,000 hated it, whatever, thanks for the listen.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good mindset to have.
Yeah, man. Well, because, dude, it doesn't matter what you do. Someone's going to think you're wrong.
Of course.
Someone's going to say they can do it better. But the people saying that shit are the ones usually doing the fucking worst.
Yeah, are they doing it? Are they doing anything with their time even?
No.
I mean, I've had people...
They're sitting over here hating.
I've had people criticize my store, and it's just like...
Do you have a store?
That's usually my number one. Do you have a store?
Yeah.
Man, it being such a small shop and starting with like 4 of my own guns in my display case, coming into, to where I am now, when people would walk in and be like, "Is this all you have?" It's like, yeah, it's fucking all I got right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They're like, "You know any other gun stores?" I'm like, I don't. Pull your phone out and Google, dude. I don't know. So we all start somewhere,
you
man.
stuck to it, though. You stuck to it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And it's like, I took it too personal. It wasn't personal. And, and if people get fucking mad at you, it's usually them. They're usually mad at something
That's also
else.
great advice.
Well, dude, I was at the VA one time, and I'm getting in the elevator, and the elevator door is about to close, and this old 70s, right? Vietnam veteran, and I'm in the elevator with this other gentleman, and before the doors are closing, he keeps pressing the button to get to the next elevator, and I don't know why. He could have just got in with us, but it's like, whatever. And it opens up, closes, he presses the button again, it opens up, and he does that like 3 times. I said, "Hey man, you gotta wait for the doors to close before you can press the button." Snapped. "Fuck you, I'll fucking beat," and I folded my arms and just sat back, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the doors finally closed, and the guy next to me, he goes, "Hey man, I just want you to know that he got his own problem." I'm like, you know what, man? 70-plus-year-old Vietnam vet, I'm sure he's got his own problems. I'm cool. Like, I wasn't offended, man, but like, and he's at the VA for a reason. I don't know, so.
Well, and apparently they don't treat anybody with any worth over there.
Yeah. And sometimes, man, it might sound gay, but it's like fucking, if someone's rude to you, like if you're a barista and someone's like, "You made my coffee like shit," and it's just like, hey, you know what?
Sorry your day sucks that bad where you got to take it out on your local barista.
Like what can I do for you? Can I give you a sandwich for free? I'm really sorry about that. Like, we don't hate you.
Yeah.
Like maybe just be nice, and sometimes it really takes them back and makes them think. And and if you're the person being mean, you should be aware that you're being fucking mean.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Stop leaving your carts laying around in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me going on that. Tune in to Happy Friday tomorrow for me to bitch about everyone that fucking leaves their car.
We've all done it.
We've all done it. I've done it before.
Hypocrites.
But not in years. Not in years. I haven't done it
I
in years.
I haven't done it because I've been I was in the grocery business at 14 years old, and I had to push buggies.
So you've never...
Nope.
Ever
so
left
you're
a
against
car.
job security for 14-year-olds collecting carts is what you're saying, Kevin.
Their job is to collect it from the cart corral back to the store.
Oh, he's gonna...
Their job is to collect carts.
From the cart corral.
Collect carts.
I did it for years as a kid. And so put your fucking carts away, people. Tune in to Happy Friday. I got a lot to say about that tomorrow.
My goodness.
I go shopping with my wife now. She always brings the cart back.
What a good woman.
I love her, dude.
That's a good woman.
She's the best. So.
She is.
That's see, that's a good citizen right there. Putting her cart away.
I got to meet her for a brief moment.
I have not.
Epic human being.
She might have been poopy pants, though.
It's still epic, though.
Poopy pants. We use that term a lot.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. There's still love. I love your advice for humanity. I really love how detailed we got on this episode, too, on important topics, too, that can be considered controversial. But it's like, if we can approach anything with a common level of respect, then we can talk about anything. And so that's my challenge for this week to anybody listening in. Challenge yourself to have a conversation that might make you uncomfortable, but just approach it respectfully, and you might learn some things and change your perspective a little bit, and that's important. Please check out Alec, check out High Country Armory. They kick ass. Like I mentioned, bought several firearms from them. Definitely great customer service. Alec wasn't even there both times, and his team took care of me wonderfully. It was awesome. Can't wait to see how you continue to grow. He's moving shops, bigger.
Moved.
Yeah, already moved shops, and he's going to keep moving. And just like we will keep it moving. Kev?
Yeah, so, we'll close on this. Obviously, awesome. Best if you want to buy a gun, you're in the Denver area, you got to hit up Alec for sure. We're going to include that in show notes. My dad, he's excited. My dad's 70. He's going to buy a firearm. And, of course, he's coming to you. I told him, like, Dad, I know the guy. We're going to do that. We're going to film it. We're going to do all those things, of course. But, man, I just want to say thanks again for coming down and hanging out with us for a second time, having a couple tranny fluids with us, and just kind of goofing off. We got into politics, which is not something we usually do on this show, but who gives a fuck anymore? Who cares?
Who cares?
Stop being sensitive. Have conversations like this with your friends and your family. Maybe not over Thanksgiving, but find a right time to do it, right? We've gotten too far away from it.
Maybe just randomly call them up and be like, hey, I want to talk to you about a couple things.
Yeah,
respectfully.
Don't attack them. Be like, listen here.
Respectfully.
I'd be like, what do you talk about on your podcast? That's what I thought. Miranda, get the fuck out of here.
We've had those conversations, Al, where people are like, you should do it this way. It's like, well, do you have a podcast? But that's another story. So we're going to get on out of here. And again, we'll include everything down in the show notes down below, guys. Alec, thanks again for being here, brother, man. Good to see you.
Thank you guys for having me, yeah.
And we're going to go do some more gun shooting this summer. It's going to be a good time. We're back here for Happy Friday tomorrow. Y'all be good to yourselves.
You deserve it.